Hello everyone, there are lots of varieties of pizzas in the world. We will prepare 3 of them today and compare them. Let's start with the Italian margarita. For the dough, 270 grams of wheat flour in a bowl, plus 30 grams of whole grain. We send ice into some water. In total, you should get 200 milliliters. Pour that into the bowl. A little dry yeast, salt, sugar, and knead it up. Pour some olive oil into a bowl. Just the dough has already been taken out. We put it into a bowl. We cover it with cling film so that it doesn't get any winded. And we send it into the refrigerator for 12 hours. Now let's make the sauce. Open up some peeled cherry tomatoes and pour that into a mortar. These need to be crushed. Now cut up an onion. And finally chop some red basil. Put a frying pan under the stove, pour some olive oil in, and fry the onion just until transparent. Pour in the crushed cherry tomatoes, red basil, dried oregano, freshly ground pepper, and of course, salt and sugar. Now you just gotta mix it up. Reduce that for literally 5 minutes, and the sauce is ready. For the filling, cut the tomato into circles. Preheat the oven to the maximum in advance, as much as it can give out, and send a special pizza stone onto it. The dough is already risen, so we dust the table with flour, also on top of our dough. And just crush it out with your hands. It is so soft that even a rolling pin isn't really needed here. Our stone is warmed up. We spread the dough out on top. From the hot stone, the pizza base begins to swell and cook right away. We lubricate it with our tomato sauce. Then tomato slices. And in the end, we tear some mozzarella cheese with our hands and spread it out evenly on the surface of the pizza. Now this all can be sent into the oven. It is very hot here, so literally 5 minutes and it's ready. You can pull it out. We spread the basil out and the Italian pizza margarita is ready. Let's cut off a piece. And try it. This is a totally classic Italian pizza with awesome sauce and dough. For taste, 8 out of 10. Now we're going to choose which pizza to cook next, and it will be the pizza stromboli from the USA. In warm water, we send some yeast, sugar, salt, and mix. A kilogram of flour into the bowl, and here's some olive oil as well. And as soon as the yeast has started working, we pour in the liquid. And we knead the dough. Done. We cover this with plastic wrap and leave it in a warm place. For the filling, we will use provolone cheese. Open it up and cut it into slices. We also cut some mozzarella cheese. And grate some Parmesan on a fine grater. For the meat, we're going to use some bresaola and ham, and we're also going to need some capers. For this pizza, the sauce is quite simple. We send some tomato paste, dried basil, dried garlic, oregano, salt with sugar, and olive oil into the saucepan. Stir it up, and our sauce is ready. Our dough is risen. Now we knead it. We dust the table with flour. A lump of dough on top. And roll it into a thin layer. We're going to cut the edges in such a way that the result is a square. Spread out the sauce. And smear. We spread out some mozzarella cheese. Ham, provolone cheese, bresaola, grated Parmesan cheese, and finally capers. From all sides, we bend the dough by a couple of centimeters and roll it all into a roll. We transfer this onto a baking sheet, and we make incisions from above. We dip a brush into a nut wash and lubricate the dough so that it has a golden crust. Sprinkle some more Parmesan cheese on top. And send it into the oven. Just 20 minutes and our American pizza stromboli is ready. Let's cut off a piece. It looks fine. We just need to try. For taste, it is a 10 out of 10, thanks to the delicious types of meat and the 3 types of cheese. It's time for our last pizza, and we're going to make a pizza cake from Canada. We rolled out a large layer of dough and cut it into 4 parts. One part is transferred over to parchment paper. On top of an iron ring, and we cut the dough around it. We're left with an almost even circle, and so we shift this onto a baking sheet. We make 4 such things like that, and send them all into the oven. The cakes turned out pretty well, but they swelled up a lot, so we flattened them with a board. For the filling, we'll use tomatoes. Use a grater to grate some cheddar cheese. And we're going to use pepperoni, pancetta, and salami. We will also fry some aranjo mushrooms. They need to be gilded a little. Add some whiskey for flavor. And finally, barbecue sauce. Now to spread it around so it envelops each mushroom. Mushrooms are glazed and they're ready for this. And in general, the whole filling is also ready. The pizza sauce can be made sharper by adding some red pepper and Tabasco. Now it just needs to be mixed up. And we can put together a pizza cake. On the first cake, we apply hot tomato sauce and smear it all over the surface. We spread out some cheddar cheese, pancetta, mushrooms in the barbecue sauce, a second cake layer, sauce, cheese, pepperoni sausages, and tomatoes for juiciness. The third cake layer, sauce, cheese, salami, and the fourth cake slice. And again, sauce, cheese, tomatoes, mushrooms, and salami. Now we'll use the same dough as for the second pizza. We roll out a rather thick, large layer from it. And we make holes with a fork so that it increases evenly. We cover all our layers with this layer. We distribute it out and cut off the excess dough. Done. Now it just needs to be washed with an egg. It's sent into the oven. Now we just need to add some cheddar cheese, and pepperoni on top. We send this into the oven for literally just another 5 minutes. This is how our Canadian pizza turned out. Let's cut off a piece. Wow, this looks awesome. Hello everyone, we decided to cook the longest burger. Presumably, it will take 4 days to prepare it. Day 1. Let's start with pork ribs. First of all, we undermine the films. And tear them off. For the marinade, a mixture of peppers in a mortar, and grind them. And throw that into the bowl. There's also a lot of smoked paprika, salt, Worcestershire sauce, and a lot of mustard. Mix up that marinade. And spread it out on the ribs. And rub it in well. transfer the ribs to a special package. And vacuum seal them. That's it. Send them into the refrigerator for 3 days. Let the marinade penetrate to the maximum. We also decided to pickle some chili peppers. To do this, cut them into circles. Done. Put a saucepan with water on the stove. Add in a lot of sugar. And the same amount of salt. Also pour in some apple cider vinegar. We bring this marinade to a boil and pour chili peppers into it. Boil it all for 5 minutes. And then it's ready. You can pour it into the jar. Day 2. Let's start with making homemade cheese. Put a saucepan on the stove and put in 400 grams of natural cottage cheese into it. Pour 400 milliliters of homemade milk and heat it all up, stirring constantly. After 5 minutes, the liquid turned yellowish, and this means that the serum is separated. We drain all this through a sieve. And we send the clean cheese back to the saucepan. And onto the stove. Add orange dye, half a teaspoon of soda, and the same amount of salt. Over some low heat, we constantly crush and mix the cheese. At some point it'll all melt and it'll almost be ready to eat. Now we quickly prepare a square mold. From the inside we lubricate it with oil. Shift in the melted cheese and distribute it by hand. In an hour it'll all cool down and then it's completely ready. The next thing we need to do is dry some tomatoes. We cut the fresh tomato into 2 parts. Then lay them out on the grill. And sprinkle salt very abundantly. That's it. You can send our fresh tomatoes to the oven. We set it to 70 degrees in the convection mode. We leave them to languish until the next morning. Day 3. Our tomatoes have already dried out very much and have decreased in size by 5 times. We take a jar, pour provincial herbs into it, then load in the dried tomatoes, and pour in olive oil to the top. That's it. At this, the dried tomatoes are ready. We'll need them later. In the meantime, take the onion and peel it from the husk. Cut into half rings. Put a frying pan on the stove and a little oil in there, and put in the onion. It needs to be fried to this slightly brown color. Then pour in the water. Thanks to this, it'll become softer. Now just add some sugar. Mix the onion and caramelize. In the end, we get an awesome soft and sweet onion. For the barbecue sauce, peel the red onion and slice. Slice it into strips. Crush a garlic head and peel the cloves. We crush it again and crumble it. Put a saucepan on the burner. Cut off a piece of butter and send it to the saucepan. Now fry the garlic with the onion. We open up a tomato paste and add 4 tablespoons to our sauce. Pour in some whiskey. And add for sweetness a lot of honey. To get that spicy chili pepper and some Tabasco. Squeeze out some lemon juice, salt, pour in some liquid smoke, and knead it. Boil for a couple more minutes and the barbecue sauce is ready. Now we just need to punch it thoroughly through an immersion blender. And pour it into a sauce thing. Done. For our super long burger cooking, we will make the softest brioche bun. Pour some milk into a bowl. And break in half a package of yeast. Add some sugar, salt, and mix it all well. Then we break in 4 eggs. We put the bowl into the mixer. We gradually fill in the flour. After 5 minutes of kneading, you should get a dough flowing off the hook. Cut off 100 grams of butter. and throw it into the bowl. Now we need the dough straight for a long time, for 30 minutes. As a result, it should come off the walls of the bowl. Now we take a baking sheet, pour it abundantly with oil, spread the dough in a baking sheet, spread it out wide, and cover it with some cling film. Now leave the dough to rise in a warm place. After an hour and a half, it is tripled in size. We take off the film, and once again we crush it with our hands. We form some balls and put them on a baking sheet. We place elevations at the corners and cover with cling film so that it doesn't touch the buns. We're waiting another 20 minutes for them to get up. Done. In a bowl, we break 1 egg, pour milk, and mix. We glaze those buns so they're nice and wet. Send them onto the grill and turn on the gas. We will bake at 180 degrees for 25 minutes and the buns are ready. They turned out to be real frickin' soft. The last 4th day. The ribs are already completely marinated. We also need a baking sheet. We open a can of beer and pour it into the baking tray. There's a special grill for the top. Open the package. Shift the ribs to the grid. We unfold the foil from above. And press it tightly from all sides. That's it, we can put it on the grill. And in the meantime, we will make a glaze for them. Fry these cloves of garlic. Dump a glass of thawed cherries. And evaporate the juice a little bit. Pour some pepper into a mortar and crush. And throw it into the sauce. A little tomato paste. Basil, salt, and sugar. Lemon in half and squeeze out the juice. We mix our glaze and it's almost ready. Now we just need to kill it with a blender for about 3 minutes. The ribs have been grilled for 3 hours. We take them out. And open up the foil. We apply cherry glaze with a brush. shove it back in to grill. After 10 minutes, the ribs already look awesome, but we will glaze them again so that the layer is bigger. Another 10 minutes, and the ribs are finally ready. We get them out. We put the ignition bowl on the grill and fill it with coals. We set fire to a tablet of dry alcohol and let it ignite the coals. Done. We pour them into the grill and we put the bars in place. We proceed to the preparation of the cutlets. We need beef and pork fat. Cut the fat into strips. We cut the largest films from the meat. And cut it into convenient pieces for the meat grinder. Now we take the meat grinder itself, substitute a bowl, and put the meat in the saucer. Now we begin to twist the stuffing. Also finally chop some smoked bacon. We throw that in there too. We open it and take out our dried tomatoes. We cut them finely. Put that into the meat as well. Freshly ground chili pepper. And of course, salt. That's it. We need the minced meat thoroughly with our hands. Now we form balls from it. We send it to a square of parchment and form a cutlet. We made 3 pieces. We're gonna grill them. While they are being grilled on one side, we will use lettuce leaves and tomato. We cut them. And now we try and cut our homemade cheese into slices. We cut our super soft brioche buns into 2 parts. The pork ribs are still hot, therefore we shift them to the cutting board and very simply take out the bones. Cut them into 3 parts. Turn the cutlets to the other side. fry them a little bit more and take them out. Now we put the buns on the grill. For literally 20 seconds until the crust appears and take them out. Now we're going to build our burger. We lubricate the top bun with caramelized onions. Tear off a piece of lettuce and put it on the bottom bun. Next comes the juicy burger, 2 slices of homemade cheese, squeeze out the barbecue sauce. Next comes tomatoes, pork ribs, barbecue sauce again, pickled chili peppers, and top it with a bun. That's it, the burger we've been cooking for 4 days is finally ready. Let's try it.